Brothers podcast, a Five Pillars of Mad Monolith production.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers, sisters, friends and the foes out there, and welcome to another episode of the Blood Brothers podcast with your host Dilly Hussain and my co-host
Aki Hussain. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Today we have a legend in the house, and I say this, that's not even an exaggeration, mashallah, tabarakallah. For those of you who are interested and been following the mixed martial arts, contact sports industry in the game for the last 10-15 years, you'll know that today's guest is someone who's very celebrated, someone who is a don in his own right, in his own name, and that is none other than the former UK MMA fighter, now MMA coach, Khalid Ismail, aka the Desert Lion.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
How was the travel from east to west?
Good.
It was good.
Good as always.
Bro, you know, we
Traffic.
we have to ask Londoners how their journey was inside London.
Yeah.
When someone has to come to see us from Bedford.
Sometimes it takes me 20 minutes just to get out of my area.
Okay.
So it's you know London traffic.
Plenty of
That's
time
not
to
that bad.
reflect.
There's certain brothers that it takes 20 minutes to get out of bed, bro. Right, listen, to kick off today's podcast, Aki and I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
To just kind of get the vibe starting for the podcast. So, Aki, over to you, bro.
Absolutely. So look, brother Khalid, you are someone who's celebrated, respected and reputable when it comes to mixed martial arts, contact sports, not only in your career in fighting but also in coaching now as well. And with that comes a lot of discipline in terms of what you eat, health, fitness and everything else in between, right?
Yeah.
So in that industry comes a lot of myths as well, and what people think are truths. And people always Google information and watch videos, and there's millions of views on things that aren't always necessarily true. So I want to ask you, first-hand experience, expert in the field, about some myths around health and fitness.
Well, at the very least, based on your personal experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fadl, go on.
So I'll start with my favourite one. In fact, it's probably Dilly's favourite one.
No.
Which is
This guy.
ejaculating before training or having sex before training. Is this something that is discouraged? And could it be harmful in terms of your performance?
You're a thirsty guy, you know.
I just went from 0 to 100.
in terms of icebreakers, I thought I'll shatter that ice completely.
But so there's two aspects to it. There's one like I'm gonna hit the gym to do weights.
Yeah.
Should I let one off or do it with my wife or my girlfriend, or should I just hold it down till after gym? And then there's training. A fighter who's training for a fight coming up is having a lot of sexual intercourse, something that's discouraged. So there's two. One, a standard one before gym, and one in preparing for a fight.
And also, this is a real question that people consider and think about.
Yeah. I think if we look at the scientific side of it, yeah. So if you look at the scientific side, if the sexual acts will only affect you if you're staying up late. So what happens if you're coming home late and you're performing sexual acts later in the evening and stuff, and it affects your sleep and everything, then I would say it will affect your training. But if it's at a reasonable time, and because remember, fighting is always to do with mental state.
Yeah.
So if having sex and having sexual intercourse is something that brings you kind of like
ease and
calm, and some people are very sexually active, so if they need that, then it's okay.
So if it helps refocus,
yeah, exactly, because it's like say someone can train twice a day and train, go home, sleep, and then train again, and then they focus for that session. Some people need to have a break from the gym, so whatever works for you is fine. So on a I would say scientifically, don't quote me on this, but I would say the effect of having sex will probably be detrimental if you're having it late at night and it's affecting your rest. That is probably the major problem, because on a general training time schedule, if you're having sex, it doesn't really affect anything. It actually probably increases your testosterone levels.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're having sex regularly, your testosterone increases as well anyway. But I would always say that it's to do with staying up late.
And so what the Romans used to call morning glory isn't necessarily a bad thing then, yeah?
No.
Okay, cool.
that's a very thorough and clear answer, and a lot of people.
Yeah, but I think again, it's. I think what happens is the myth is, remember, these are old boxing.
Correct.
These all come from.
That's where it comes from. Yeah.
Old combat sports. So now they would say, don't do this now, because certain boxers might have love to go out and
And
perform.
everything that comes with that.
Yeah, and everything that comes with it. So now obviously you're coming home at 3-4 o'clock at night, or you're at home at 3-4 o'clock at night, and you're still up, and you got training at 6 or 7 o'clock. So and obviously boxers always used to wake up early, so that's like regimental 5-6 o'clock up for a run, and if you're up till 3, it's going to affect your performance.
Interesting.
Right, next one, yeah. So to get lean and to get more muscle definition, lighter weights, more repetitions. Is there truth behind that?
This whole kind of to get big, more weight, less reps. To get rip up, it's less weights, more reps. Is that a myth, or is it a truth to that? Coupled with diet, coupled with everything else that needs to be done.
I come from an S&C background as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get a lot of these. I get a lot of these questions. Now, number one thing is there's always going to be a crossover.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing some sort of volume training, so if I was doing a 5-minute volume training, so 1 minute, as many reps as I can, I cannot lift heavy weights. Yeah. But the metabolic conditioning of that is very good, so I will get leaner from it. But doing heavier weights will increase my muscle mass, which increases the amount of calories that my body burns, so then I'll lose weight from that as well. So they both have their place.
Yes.
So again, this is for the viewers as well, so whenever you train, or if you're ever going to decide to train, or you want to do anything, always start with your goal. So the goal is, I want to get lean, and if that's the main goal, then is it a weight class that you need to get to? Because I could be, for example, say we were all three of us. You're competing in boxing. You just genuinely want to look good. Yeah. So
there's a lot of truth in that as well.
Yeah. So now, if you just want to generally look good, does it matter that you're 16 stone ripped?
Not at all.
It doesn't matter.
It's aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah. So now for you, if you're competing and you need to get to a weight class, yeah. So then you have to be lean. So you might have to strip off some muscle mass. So you might need to do lighter weights, because that's where it starts coming into it. We don't want to put too much muscle onto you, because you'll have to fight in a weight class. Okay. So again, this all comes down to selecting the goal, and then from there, anything you do. So the goal is the end product, and then you work backwards from there, and then you set your training programs.
Brilliant.
But as a general rule, in isolation, and I know it's silly perhaps for me to even ask you this, but just as a general rule, you did just say that less reps, heavier weights will build the muscle mass.
Less weights, less reps.
Less reps, more weights will build the muscle mass.
Yeah. So again, everything. So it's again for the viewers as well. If you wanna train properly, you need to cycle training. So it's not always going in there and doing 10 to 12 reps, lifting heavy weight, because your joints are not going to take that. Constantly keep loading. So for example, say if you started for 20 kilos,
it'll catch up with you, saying.
Yeah, but even if it logically doesn't. So they have I forgot the actual term for it. But say you started off with 20 kilos bench press, for example.
So I'm going to tell you my Monday, yeah? Boom, Monday, International Chest Day, yeah?
Yeah.
Warm up set, boom, 20 plate each, 60, boom, next 80, next 100, 120 is my last set.
Okay, then next week. Then the next week
Monday,
I'm going to try to do a bit more reps on 100,
and then the next
100.
week. So now think about this. So in 12 months, in 12 months, if you kept doing that, you'll have like 17 plates on each side, which is impossible. If you think about it.
No, I'm going to hit a brick wall.
Yeah, so you'll hit a brick wall.
And you hit that brick wall a long time ago.
Shut up, man.
So then what will happen is...
The wall different break.
So what will happen is then there's a point where you cannot get any more gains. And plus, injury will probably kick in before that.
Isn't that when that comes in now?
No, but you don't need to do that though. So the idea is if you look at the functions of your whole body and everything that makes the attribute. So if you look at strength, so what you're doing is trying to build muscle mass first, yeah? So then after, the next phase will probably be strength work, lower reps, and try to start lifting heavy reps, and then big volume, so more sets, less reps, and then have bigger rest periods. Then the next stage will be power.
Okay.
So it'll be even less reps, so 2 or 3 reps, and then just explosive movements. Then the next one could be plyometrics and stuff. And this is how you start. Then you have a transitional phase.
So you're saying mixing it up?
You have to mix it up.
You have to, yeah.
You have to mix it up. It's not a CrossFit thing. Not a one day you completely do different. So you do your same thing that you're doing 3 weeks. You do 3 weeks so your body adapts. And then after, it will change after 3 weeks again, and it will change after 3 weeks. So you have to work. They're called macro cycles. So when you train like this, your body adapts to it, and then you give it a different stimulus. So it constantly
It's always evolving, yeah.
it's always evolving, and you'll find that your PBs will get better. And again, your goal is what
you need that as well.
yeah, but it's true. But anyone that works
I want box. Focus on PBs, not DMs, yeah.
This guy,
TMs,
bro. This guy, bro.
so when you work on from the goal,
Yeah.
then everything will set its place.
There seems to be an ijma and a consensus because literally what you just said is basically what Frost also said.
Yeah, like
He said you need to mix it up.
people that we've spoken to who are experts in the
And obviously,
area
yeah.
have given us there's some uniformity around how to evolve your strength, how to evolve your performance. All of these things are connected with having mixture, having variety. You could have the same goal, it could be the same thing, strength and endurance, but mixing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, there was a Netflix program about these
The guys who didn't eat meat.
fitness models and stuff like this. So
Okay,
these guys were talking about lifting heavy,
Yeah.
and obviously they been thinking about all they do is weights.
Yeah.
Now a lot of them in the later end of their careers, they don't lift heavy weight no more, and because all of them suffering joint pains. So in their younger ages, everything was about lifting heavy, go in there and smash, and there's a point.
Everything's shot now, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a point where you're not looking after your body the way it's supposed to be. You can't overload your body every single session, and this is what you got.
Okay.
This is what you got to understand.
Yeah, longevity.
Yeah, always.
Brilliant. And so you come from strength and conditioning, kind of a lot of expertise in that area. Next question is around conditioning and the conditioning of the body in terms of contact sports. So you'll see it in the movies.
Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yeah,
kickboxer.
and you'll see guys, they're kicking trees and they're whacking things on their limbs. And also you'll see it in like
Muay Thai videos.
in Muay Thai
in
cultures
Thailand,
as well, where they're kicking objects and things like that in terms of
Trees mainly, Khalid.
Yeah.
The banana tree.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
soft.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what is your understanding of that in terms of physical conditioning of the tissue, and does it serve a purpose?
Yes, it does. So, but again, like
Does punching walls.
you could get to punching walls, but you would have to have a starting point.
Okay.
So again, like when I was in Thailand, they had, and this is what people, and again for me, because I always look at a strength conditioning background, I bring that element to it. They had 10 bags, and I remember when I went there, they had 10 bags, and they had a really light bag first. So I had all like little young guns on the bag, and he was kicking his bag. This bag would fly everywhere. Then there was this solid bag, and it wouldn't move, and that was filled up with sawdust and sand.
Yeah.
So my understanding of it was you start here,
Yeah.
And you end up there.
and then you will end up over there.
Okay.
And over the years, that bag will become too light. So once you kick that bag so much,
Over the years, so it's not even in one session you'll get to that.
no,
Or a
because
couple of sessions.
think about it. This bag is made out of,
It's just solid.
it's like concrete.
This is your problem, Aki. You're trying to do everything in one session.
Yeah, but this is true though. So what happens is, again,
I'll knock
do
you
you,
out,
do you remember Mike Mensa?
Yes.
Do you remember him?
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember he done this training book, and he said like I only train for 15 minutes or something.
I didn't recall the book, but I do remember he
But
wrote
he wrote a book, and he's something like I only train for 15 minutes. But what he didn't tell you was for the last 20, 30 years he was training for 4 hours.
Okay.
So now he's giving you the end products.
Yeah.
So what happens is, again, Instagram and all this stuff, you see the end products of people. And when you see the end product, you don't see all the stuff they've done before. What was it? How did someone become flexible?
The journey, yeah.
The journey at the beginning. What was they doing at the beginning? They used to probably stretch for 3-4 hours.
Okay.
And then they say, oh, I got my 15-minute routine or my 5-minute routine that's going to make you flexible. It doesn't work like that. So you have to put work in.
Yeah.
So
So
the
you can't just look at the advanced level.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, do you know what I always tell my students?
Yeah.
Or anyone that trains, watch babies. What if you watch a baby, they go through the same thing, and subhanAllah, they do the same. They lay on their back, and they just move their arms and legs, and it's like why would you, if you think of it as a human, when you lay down, you don't think, oh, I need to move my arms and legs. Babies naturally start doing that. They're training their muscles to move. Then all of a sudden, after that stage, they roll onto the belly, come back, roll onto the belly, work in the core, roll onto the belly,
That's a
come
sick
back.
analogy, you know.
Then they
It's biology.
and again, this is
Child
like,
development, yeah.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden they start pushing up, go back down, pushing up, go back down. The next stage is crawling. Then they crawl. Then after they start crawling, they hold on to something, stand up, fall down, stand up. Then after
Cut the
eventually
steps
end
by
up.
holding something.
Yeah.
and then
So if you look at this process, this is exactly how you should train.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and I was just saying to someone yesterday, I said, if we had the mentality of adults as a child, all of us will be crawling on our bum.
And bare injuries.
Because what will happen is what we'll do is we'll think, oh, I fell down now and I can't do it. That's what I'm not gonna do no more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a child, you don't ever think like that. No. You fall down, get back up, fall down, get back up,
Yeah.
and you keep doing it until you get to that stage. So this is the same thing with conditioning or anything else. It's small steps to get to that.
That's pretty deep, man.
That is sick.
That's mad. That's an analogy.
That
That was a wicked.
Right, yeah.
But just to put this point at bed, right? So don't start with busting up oak trees and walls.
No.
But you may get to a stage there.
You might get sectioned as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think people will be very scared of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not inherently a bad thing if you're someone who's focusing on conditioning gradually.
Yeah, that's the way to do it though. Because look, again, the idea is, so for example, say if you're my fighter and you've got a £250,000 fight coming up or contract or something. Now I go to you, oh, you know what? Let's go kick this tree to make you strong. But you've never done this before.
That's a problem.
And then you kick this tree,
get
myself. Injured, now you don't get paid. So now we're all stuck. The idea is always, how do I make this guy safe and get him strong, but keep him safe? Strength and conditioning, the same thing. How do I get to lift 200 kilos, but be safe along the way? 2.5 kilo increments, slowly. Once my body adapts to it, I add another 2.5 kilos. And that's how I progress. But the problem is, again, we have this, as we become adults, he's picking up 120. Why can't I pick up 120? He picks up, and this is a very, very dangerous mentality. Yeah. So that I was saying to the guys yesterday as well.
It's pride training. It's pride training, isn't it? That's
and again,
ego training.
It's problematic.
But even though one of the main things in martial arts is, and even in life, is knowing oneself. So if you know your characteristics, if you know who you are, what you stand for and stuff, then you don't really fall into this trap. So when you go to the gym, you're always happy that someone's doing well. If someone's skillful, you learn off them. You don't go in and you don't start competing with these people. You're only going to always compete with yourself.
For sure.
That's it. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, man.
Okay. The next question is around learning new skills, especially in martial arts. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that follow MMA and boxing, and they'll stay up at night and they'll watch UFC, Bellator, and everything else. And they'll have a favorite fighter. And
they'll watch your old training videos.
Yeah, they'll watch your training videos.
And the Desert Lion videos from back in the day.
And they want to be like Khalid Ismail and they want to kick people and all these things.
Finish him in 7 seconds and that. You know what I mean?
What are your views, or what would you say, and is it true, that someone can develop skills in combat and mixed martial arts from just being a huge fan and watching?
And literally watching religiously.
Yeah. And then thinking, and is it possible that they can watch it, they follow everything?
And improvise moves.
I've got another story for you as well.
Love stories.
So this is what I would say. Even if you're watching, even if you're training and you train a little bit and you watch a lot of YouTube videos to try to get the techniques and all this stuff, it's a good point of reference. No problem. Cool. Watch it as a point of reference. Even if you watch a lot of UFC, it's a point of reference for you. I taught myself how to do backflips.
Yeah.
So I was self-taught backflip.
Okay.
When I went to a gymnastics club, when I used to do a backflip, I didn't know that when I was backflipping, my legs used to open up.
Okay.
So when I started trying to join moves up, I could never do it. So then the coach that was there said, "Oh, this is the problem. Your feet don't join up, and this is why you cannot join moves." This is exactly the problem with watching off YouTube or trying to learn off
live telly, yeah.
Because what happens is you kind of get it, but you don't get it. You have a general understanding, but the actual intricate details you won't know. Why does one guy go from one move to another? Why does he find it easy to go from one move to another?
Why is his arm there for?
Why is his arm for? How comes the guy put his arm there? So there was something that the guy did prior to make his arm go there. So these are the things
the sequences you won't get.
Yeah, and then as humans, we all learn from life experiences. So life experiences, being in contact with people. So when you actually are in contact and you feel, okay, I got caught with this move.
That's why.
This is why it happened to me, and this is why it happened to that guy. Like even MMA, I done a seminar at a wrestling club, and pure wrestlers. So I was showing them how grappling for MMA. So now we was doing strikes from the wrestling position. Now these guys are seasoned wrestlers, but when we was going underhook, I was trying to pummel. I didn't even pummel. I just elbowed him.
That's it.
Then he was like, "Oh, what was it?" I said, "Yeah, because you're in wrestling mode. I'm in fighting mode."
That's right. I can strike you.
Yeah. So and this is the difference. But what happens is, it's like as a wrestler, they'll watch because their understanding is wrestling.
That's right.
So they'll watch. Oh, why did he put his underhook? Yeah, because he's not aware that the other guy can elbow. Why is he not letting go of him? Yeah, because he's gonna get kneed. So there's other things. So unless you do the art, because I've seen guys who only teach wrestling for MMA. Are you qualified to teach that if you've never been punched in your face?
But can't he just teach you as a one-dimensional skill set?
No, but when you think about what he said, wrestling for MMA. So that means
in the context of
MMA, not wrestling. You're not teaching wrestling. Come wrestling
in the context that you're wrestling, but you can get sparked as well, yeah. And then that man's gonna come at you.
So what he's showing is, if the guy throws a punch, you do this, but you've never done MMA in your life. You've never been punched in your face in your life. So how do you know this works?
I get it.
You get it?
Mad.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this is the thing. And again, this is knowing yourself.
What about boxing training then? What about when Conor, Khabib, and these guys and everyone
else,
they get
as a
boxing,
baseline striking skill,
so striking skill boxing. So do they need a boxing trainer who's done MMA as well, who can get taken down to the ground?
But again, this is for me, at 18 I studied everything. I started jiu-jitsu, I was kickboxing, and I had a fight on the street, and then I was attacked by two guys. So then I ended up knocking one out, and the other one fell on the floor, and then he pulled my top. And this is how my jiu-jitsu journey started as well. So he pulled my top, and I was trying to hit him, and I couldn't hit him. And he just holding my. I was like, this guy.
Yeah.
So then after that, I went home, and I remember I was watching UFC, and I thought, man, this guy, if he knew jiu-jitsu, he would have pulled me in for a triangle. I need to learn this. So now I added jiu-jitsu to my striking skills because I felt it in real life.
That's right.
I understood. Even I had quite a few fights here. So there was another time I had a fight, and I tripped on the pavement and I fell on a car. I pulled guard, held the guy, boom, boom, boom. But the thing is though, it's like, if I didn't know jiu-jitsu, I would have panicked, because if I was a stand-up guy, I would have gone, oh, what do I do now?
Try stand again.
And it'll be like trying to get up, and I probably got to a punch. All I did, cover, elbow, put a little choke on.
Boom,
and then,
done.
Yeah, so it was like that. So you can see,
You adapted to the situation because of that skill set.
and that is the mixed martial arts side.
Yeah.
Now, as a striking coach, boxing coach, if you threw 2 shots, 1-2, and your fighter slipped, what are you talking about now? You've never experienced it.
Oh god, yeah. So you're gonna.
Ref's not gonna come in and let you get back up and say it's a slip.
But even if he's coaching in MMA, he knows the boxing side. For example, I had a boxing coach for one of my camps, and I was sparring, but we were doing MMA sparring. We were sparring, and he was coaching the other fighter because in the sparring session. So as we were going, he kept saying to him, move to his right. So we're sparring, move to your right. As he moved to his right, I threw a spinning hook kick and knocked him out.
Oh good lord!
Because why? In boxing, cool, because now you're away from my
that's it.
hook.
But you got him with your left.
But I caught him with my spinning kick,
Yeah.
and I just set him up for it. And I was trying to make him. He goes, "Oh, I didn't think of that." I said, "Yeah, because you ain't done kickboxing. There's so many techniques that we throw, and obviously, what type of combat sport you do as well. I come from a Kyokushin background, Muay Thai background, so we have axe kicks, spinning hook kicks, spinning back kicks, triple side kicks. So all these type of moves in our arsenal. So now what happens is, when you fight people, if they don't have to deal with it, you already see them
panic
because they've never dealt with it. And this is one of the things. So what's the coach going to say to you? Just move away.
So you're now basically saying that, or kind of at least alluding to that, even the trainers who are preparing the fighters, they themselves need to be 3-dimensional, or at least.
It's MMA. It's MMA. Yeah. Would you trust me if I've never done MMA before?
If I was given the choice between you and I was preparing for a fight and someone who just does, I'll choose you, bro.
No, what I'm saying to you, if would you trust me if I've never done MMA before?
Of course not.
So in the corner,
how am I going to trust you if
I went in the corner? I've never had a fight in my life as well. And I said to you, you know what you got? Well, I had a fight when I was 12 years old. I was a boxing champion at 12.
What are you doing at my ringside, bro?
Thank you. Because when the shit hits the fan, you're going to be sitting there and then you're going to think, oh, this guy's never actually fought at this level. Yeah. And it happens. Because remember,
you'll be thinking that in A&E as well.
Yeah, you would though. No, it happens. It happens all the time.
Okay, listen. So do you know of, obviously, if you do know of any case, if you don't have to mention the names, do you know of fighters who have previously done stuff like that, where they've had trainers who are not three-dimensional, who are not MMA trained, but they're just single skill set trainers.
They made some mistakes.
I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that. And then when I look back at it, I'm thinking a lot of the stuff we were doing, I was like, oh my God. Like me as a coach, and because I couldn't coach myself. So I had to bring people in. But then it's very short. You got a short list of people who are very complete.
This is true. Yeah.
So who like so there's people who've done boxing and they do MMA, but what level of boxing do you do? I done like I said, sports coaches, I've done boxing till I was 12 or 13. Okay, but that's not really a high level. 12, 13 is child level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
You haven't actually been hit by a real man.
You're not competed, really.
Yeah.
as
So
an
yeah,
adult.
you've had competitions in the amateur thing, but you've never felt that 18-year-old, 19-year-old guy hit you.
Adult
A
striking.
fully grown
Adult
man
strength.
punch you. Yeah.
I remember up to 18, I couldn't knock out anyone. 18, do you remember Jackie Chan, Wheels on Mills?
Of course.
Yeah,
One of the best movies.
Do you remember when he hits Benny the Jet?
Yeah.
And he's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's happened to me. 18 years old, I hit a guy, and before the medal competitions, could not hit a guy, went to sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? And then you kind of like, because then you start developing man strength.
And then the lion was born, yeah?
But that's you get your man strength.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then
that's
it's like, oh, I get it now.
Okay.
Like, and it was different. And I could see when I would hit people that their face would change.
Yeah.
Like
In
they-
more than one way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cold.
So this is a really good segue into the next question, which is traditional martial arts, yeah? Karate, for example.
Tang Soo Do,
Taekwondo and others, Wing Chun and other things, yeah? What function do you reckon they have now? Or rather, have they become redundant in this new kind of era of mixed martial arts and this type of combat sports?
I love traditional martial arts.
Yeah.
I love everything about traditional martial arts. I love everything that it brings. The discipline, honor, loyalty, everything that it has embodies is what I stand for. Styles never make fights. Styles never make the fighters either. So Machida is a karate guy.
Yeah.
Smashed up bare people. UFC middleweight champion.
Yeah. One of the most
So-
celebrated, yeah.
Middleweight or lightweight? I think
He
it
was-
was both. He
was light heavy, yeah. And middle, yeah.
So even this. So Stephen Thompson, kickboxing background. So you've got so many people that have studied traditional martial arts. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you actually look at it, is a traditional martial art.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I mean is traditional striking martial arts.
yes,
Eastern.
the thing is though, what you need to understand is be aware of bullshitters, and this is in MMA as well now. I recently saw a poster of a guy put karate and then mixed martial arts. And it's like either it's karate or it's
or
mixed martial arts.
yeah,
But what's happened now on the back of marketing, on the back of the rise of MMA, you're just gonna throw that in there. This happened in the 70s when Bruce Lee first exploded in the UK. My teacher, he used to teach, and he was in a theatre, and he goes, we used to have like nearly 50, 60 people, 100 people turn up in the night.
Yeah.
And he goes, then you get guys in the back, and they're like, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, counting the amount of money that these guys are making.
Yeah.
Then this guy will go buy a black belt. Everything that you do on a Monday night, he'll teach on a Tuesday night somewhere else, and they're making money.
Wow.
And again, because you remember, you're going to have businessmen around.
Yeah, of course.
And this is what happens.
Exploiting it, yeah.
This is what happens. But again, so as parents, if you're getting your kids starting off, go to reputable clubs, go to instructors that have, again, depending on what you want. So go to 3 clubs over a month, or 4 clubs in a month. Check all the instructors and see. You might find differences and what this level of this guy has fought, or this guy's never fought, but he has a good personality. He teaches well, good coaching curriculum. Then you can choose where you want to fit, where you fit in. It's very important. I think people just go, and just see martial arts, and they go into that club and say, okay, I'm going to give you my money and you teach me. This guy doesn't even know what he's doing.
Now, but you're still maintaining the position that Tang Soo Do, Taekwondo, Karate, and all these, they still have a relevance.
Of course they do.
They have their place,
Yeah, of course they do. These arts, like I said, the traditional arts, just all they need to do now is keep doing what they're doing, but just have
Adapt.
Not adapt. I wouldn't say adapt, but understand that if you put combat into it. So if I done karate, and I would say, look, let's punch to the face. Let's not just do sport karate. Let's punch to the face. So let's not stop just on that Gakuzuki.
Yeah.
Let's carry on and then see where it goes. If it goes into a grappling, right, I need to learn a little bit of grappling now. Then I would go to a jiu-jitsu club, but I'd bring that jiu-jitsu with my karate style.
But they probably know that though already, bro.
But again, do you know back in the day as well, the Chinese, the Chinese martial arts, how it used to work was, the instructor would travel.
Yeah.
And the students would, one student would take over the classes, and they would learn. And then the instructor would go to different places, provinces, learn
And bring it back.
And bring it back.
Yeah.
And this is what you should be doing as a martial artist. You should constantly evolving. So now, as an instructor, don't think that you're less. Think of you're always learning. So even that me now, I'm still learning. I want to keep learning.
Yeah.
So then my students will always benefit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that is what martial arts is, and that's why we stay in it for so long, because we never feel that we know enough.
Always developing.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Always.
Next QB.
Last one is sleep and rest. Yeah, how important is it, specifically former fighter now as a coach, the role of sleep in terms of performance, training, recovery?
And to add to that, Khalid, does it matter? Okay, so there's a whole kind of 6 to 8 hour thing. Yeah. Does it matter when that 6 to 8 hours is being slept, or does it have to be done at night?
Well, I don't think it's 6 to 8. It's 8 hours plus. Probably.
No, it's 6 to 8, bro.
Is it actually? Okay.
Yeah, you can't.
You have sleep cycles. The sleep cycles, 90-minute sleep.
Yeah.
So you know heard about these?
No.
Sleep
Not
cycles.
really, no.
So your body sleeps in 90-minute sleep cycles. So like, if you went to wake up at 8 and you want 8 hours sleep and you miss a certain point,
I want to wake up at 9:30.
or you want to wake up at 9:30, or whatever time you want to wake up, your body sleeps in night. I think you can find it on the net anyway.
Yeah.
Then it's 90-minute sleep cycles. So it will tell you, don't sleep at 12, sleep at 1, and you'll wake up fresh for 9:30, because your body will go into this sleep cycle.
Okay.
Because you don't wake up in between the sleep cycle, and when you wake up in between, that's when you feel groggy and
Yes,
stuff.
okay.
I don't know if you never noticed, sometimes you can sleep really late,
100%.
wake up and you're really early.
Bro, we've
and you
spoken
wake up,
about
This is what I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah.
thinking sometimes you've got good amount of sleep,
And you
more
still-
than the night before, where you've been underslept.
and you feel good. Yeah, so these are the sleep cycles. So not understanding the sleep cycles, when you have your 90-minute sleep cycle,
Bang.
because you got level 1, level 2, level 3,
Yes.
like sleep. So this is what happens. It goes through those levels, and you wake up at the right point. And obviously, again, in regards to sleep, if you're talking about training
Yeah.
and rest, if you look at training, so basically if there's a graph, so we had like a 0 here, and that's you, and that's your graph, normal state. When you train, your body goes through fatigue, so it drops, yeah. And then when you rest, the curve will go up, yeah. It will go back to that line of 0, and it will go just above it because you've stressed it out. It needs to recover, and it will actually increase in its strength or whatever it wanted, conditioning, because it didn't like what you just did to it. If you don't rest correctly, what will happen is you go here, you don't get back to that line, and then it will go again. You train again, so your curve will go downwards.
And overall,
And this is why overtraining syndrome happens. So you start overtraining and you lack motivation. So a lot of people, when they hit the gym 7 days a week, and you see them out, the guy don't go to the gym after 1-2 weeks, it's because of this, or a month or 2 months. This is what happens. They have overtraining syndrome, and you can have adrenaline fatigue. If you have adrenaline fatigue, it takes you 1 year to recover. But if you train and you rest correctly, your curve will go upwards. So you will see this nice progression kind of thing. And this is why you have to always monitor stuff that you do.
Okay, so moving away from training and the normal lay human being, right? There's still that kind of myth that exists that the human body needs 6 to 8 hours. And so even with your what you said about the 90-minute sleeping cycle, the point I'm trying to make is, does the person who sleeps at 11 o'clock at night, wakes up at 7 or 8 in the morning, different to the man who works in a factory night shift and goes to sleep at 6 in the morning, wakes up at 2 in the afternoon?
Again, what perspective are we looking at? Islamically, what does it say?
Well, Islamically, you're going to miss a lot of your prayers, bro, to be honest.
But even it says the night is made for
sleep.
Done.
Exactly.
Simple.
Okay, that's true.
That's it. Because again, if we want to go 2020 and start to, but if we look at what we believe in and stuff, alhamdulillah, this is written for us, and it's correct.
The night is
for sleep. Okay. When you start working shift work, I've never met anyone in shift where they're always all over the place. No routine. They struggle. And it's like, and I know from personal experience, when the sun's out, it's nice. I don't want to be at home. I want to be
Yeah.
doing
You
things.
don't want to be sleeping, yeah.
I don't want to be sleep. I couldn't shut the curtains and go sleep.
Yeah,
It's not nice.
Yeah.
For you. So I've got 2 questions now for you. Yeah. So
Okay.
Aki's is done. If you were the Minister of Health in the UK,
Yeah.
what three foods would you ban?
3 foods on that man.
Hmm.
Chicken and chips.
Really,
Yeah.
bro?
Tasty or
You're from East London, bro. What's wrong with you?
That's probably why he's gonna ban it.
there's too many.
So we're saying, are we taking chicken and chips as one, yeah, or are you saying fried chicken?
It
and
has to be
fries?
one. It
fine.
can't be 2, man. 3 foods. You're the Minister of Health, based on your experience in mixed martial arts, training, coaching,
A
everything.
lot of hearts getting broken.
Yeah. Boris has come to you and said, right, Khalid, boom, new position now, ban 3 foods.
So after you've kicked him, what would
3
you say?
foods. What 3 foods? So many. Yeah,
The worst.
takeaway. Yeah, so takeaway stuff is.
Okay.
Khalid, that's harsh, man. You're a tyrant, bro.
Hang on. He's the health minister, yeah. He's calling.
He
the
said
shots.
takeaway, bruv. Chicken and
Yeah.
chips. You can't ban all takeaway.
Okay, so are you saying takeaways, yeah?
No. Just I would say like the greasy fried food.
Okay.
Definitely that.
Donna chicken and chips, yeah.
Donna. Oh, definitely Donna. Donna, you would have, bruv. Donna, you have to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, there's no good fats in that.
I'll tell you what. I stopped eating Donna kebabs when I remember I was 19. I was walking to university in the morning, and think about this though. So the kebab shop was closed.
Yeah.
And I'm walking past, and I saw that the
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Donna,
on
The
the
grease
strip.
dry up.
but it looked grey.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I went, never ate it again. Never. I could just every time I looked at it, it just looked grey, and I couldn't. And I still to this day I still remember this.
Yeah. So Donna's bad.
So like Donna, and you remember what is Donna made out of?
Okay, it's
It's
just
just leftovers
it's
of
Mechanically
everything.
recovered, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think any food. Okay, they're your 3 things. Anything that's made similar to that, you need to ban.
Okay.
So I don't know which foods are, but if there are
Okay.
foods. So if the chicken is made, if the chicken is pots, then
Yeah. So, but you're okay with like chocolates, for example, yeah?
yeah,
As a
I
treat
think,
or something.
yeah, a treat.
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, I have treat meals. So takeaways and stuff. I don't see there's anything wrong with it. Again,
when did you last have chicken and chips? Southern fried chicken and chips.
That good boss man stuff.
I would say about 3-4 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Donna meat was
No.
that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Donna meat.
That's
I
when you're
don't.
19,
Don't-
yeah.
don't- I probably like and even what I tend to do is go out and have healthy options. So more like probably Mediterranean food,
Yeah.
Okay.
like a Donna,
Like grilled meat.
grilled meat.
What about curry?
Yeah. Anything.
Do you like
Yeah,
biryani?
yeah. I see. I tell you what's nice is I must go to Tayyib's.
Okay. Oh, Tayyib's,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The famous
Yeah,
Tayyib's,
yeah.
okay.
And Lahore.
Lahore, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, this is a digression question, but only because you're Moroccan, I have to ask you, of Moroccan descent anyway, yeah? Biryani is better than tagine, innit?
I think.
Couscous is better than couscous.
No.
Oh,
Come on, man.
It's getting personal now.
Come on, man.
Bro, you know, one time we said that to one of our Libyan friends. The guy's face changed, you know.
No.
We said, don't ever compare couscous to biryani. He's remember Hussain flipped. He's like, yo. Okay, Khalid's not having none of it.
Nah.
You're stranded in an island,
Yeah.
and you had to take 3 foods with you.
Yeah.
What 3 foods would you take? You're stranded in an island. The only thing you got is salty beach water. You can, before you've even thought about hunting animals, if there are any animals on this island, you've got 3 unlimited access to 3 foods. What would you take?
What would you take?
Or drinks, or whatever.
Tagine.
Which one?
Couscous.
Which tagine would you take?
The meat tagine. Has to
Okay,
be,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Couscous.
Okay.
And then I'll probably take some khobs with me, some bread, Moroccan bread.
Yeah. Khalid's not converting to biryani, bro.
Yeah.
If he's trying to island, he's taking tagine. Biryani's not even.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Which is linked, yeah? What would be your ideal cheat meal?
Ideal cheat meal.
What does it look like?
I've been known to go to town. So
Yeah, let's hear it.
I have like a blue bag day, we call it.
Yeah.
Right, what's
So
that?
I went to the petrol station. I got to the petrol station and I buy 2 chocolates of every single
Oh, wow.
Kinder Bueno,
Cadbury's,
Honor,
everything, yeah?
Boost.
crisp, everything. And the guy said to me last time, he goes, "Are you having a party?" I said, "Nah, bruv.
Yeah, I am in some ways, yeah.
It's just me."
Real?
Wallahi, he just say, "You having a big party?" No, just me. Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I have because I don't try to
2
eat.
of each?
Yeah, man. But it's like I have a sugar buzz
Okay.
after, not good. Again, but this was a problem I had to sort out though. I haven't done this for a long time, but this was a problem I saw because I used to experiment and I started doing like a bodybuilding type diet.
Yeah.
So chicken, brown rice, broccoli, 6 times a day. Never again. I couldn't eat chicken for a whole year because the smell of it. Because I'd done it for like 3-4 months, just constant. And then I'd have a free day. So my whole week would be for this Sunday to have this free meal, and it'd be like Sunday free meal. And then I'd say when it started getting bad was I wouldn't wake up at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. I started waking up at 6 o'clock on a Sunday to start my cheat meal. Then I started waking up at 4. Okay. Then I'd wait up until 12:01, and then I started. Actually, this is wrong. This is mentally.
Because you're torturing yourself, but you're having 6 meals of the same thing
every day.
Bro.
Yeah. So then after, and this is why I avoid people doing diets. I try not to get people onto diets. Eating healthy is good. And this is from experience. Unless you've done that, you wouldn't know what people go through. So like this whole thing, and again, it was like the whole week. All you're doing is talk about food. The whole week you're having your food. I can't wait to Sunday. I can't wait to Sunday. I can't wait. And it's like then sometimes during the week I'd have the chocolates, and I'd put them on my bed, and I'd just smell them, like, and it's then you think, but you think it's when you look back, you think that's, and a lot of people still do it now. So it's actually, it's not good.
We've done it, bro.
We've done it.
We've done it. Remember where you fantasize about it, and like you obsess, and you smell it, and it's in the wrapper. You can't smell it. You smell it. You think you smell like plastic.
Why?
You're smelling it. Like open up jars of biscuits and you're smelling it, and you're thinking.
And I started eating a lot of stuff that I wouldn't eat. I never used to eat prior to doing this diet. So I see. I remember one of the things, hobnob biscuits. I never used to have hobnob. Then all of a sudden I just had an urge for it, and I used to buy like the 500-gram ones. Oh, wow. Smash 2 of them out. And it was like, why are you doing this for? And it is purely because you've told yourself not to have this during the week, and you just refrain. But before that, you would probably just, if you wanted to have a biscuit, you'd have it. And it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing. Yeah.
Food wasn't.
Then
a thing.
It becomes impulsive.
We did keto religiously for about I did it for 2-3 months. I got the results that I needed as in weight loss, but it wasn't good for me in training. Like I felt weak at gym, and I just started fantasizing over certain foods. Literally, like it's not even like I didn't really care. Literally, what you said, I don't care about biscuits.
Trying to munch bread.
I'm not a tea drinker. I'm not a milk tea drinker. But I'm just like craving, literally thinking about it. And you start talking about food all the time, and then we stopped. So I got my results. I lost the weight that I needed, but it did affect my training. I felt weak, and my life just became about the certain foods that I couldn't have. So locked it off. Locked it off.
I again this. So I done. After this episode, I ended up doing nutritional courses and stuff. So I went into a lot of all this stuff because I found the other thing I found was, do you know about somotypes? So you have you probably know
somatotypes.
Ectomorph, endomorph, and a mesomorph. So usually we're a cross between two, but this changes over time as well. So as you get older, you might be a endo, but then as you get older, you might be an endo-meso. So which are endomorph is someone who's a bit more pear-shaped, holds a little bit more fat, very strong, but holds a little more fat. You have to adjust your diet to this. Now, for example, there was, again, coaches, again, let's go back to fighting. You might have a fighter who's very strict on his diet. He has one cheat day, he puts on 3-4 kilos. Someone else, he has 4 cheat days, he eats shit all the time,
doesn't put nothing on.
And then the coach says, you're not training hard enough. Go run for 4 miles. Go and do this.
But that's because the coach hasn't understood his body type.
Yeah. And he hasn't understood his, but you remember you pay nutritionists to know this. So, but you're asking one guy to know everything. So this, unfortunately, because I was watching a program about some little boxers, and I felt really bad for this little boy. He was, the whole team, they were training for a fight, and his genetic makeup looked more endo-meso. So he looked strong, mashallah, but he looked like he held body fat. He needed someone to help him with his diet because not too much carbohydrates, so control his carbohydrate, high protein to fill his body up, and a lot of vegetables, like good broccolis, all this stuff as well, and it will fill up, and then drink a lot of water. He didn't have no one to look after him this way, so he had to keep making weight on every fight. They weighed him in front of everyone. They're embarrassing him, like, you put on 4 kilos. Why you put on? And I'll go run for 4. And he's crying. But this guy, after a little while, do you think this guy's going to carry on fighting?
Of course not.
And that's why a lot of boxers and stuff, or a lot of fighters, you end up going really big, is because of the torture that you've put them through. If you understand someone's body, then you'll understand they are hard workers. A lot of people are hard workers.
Yeah.
They need help with the food because this is. And remember, food. A lot of people are making a lot of money out of this fitness industry.
Yeah.
So a lot of fads and stuff. So the keto and this diet and that diet. It was like, for example, let me give you an example. So Mediterranean diet, amazing diet. Yeah. Have you studied the effects of a Mediterranean diet in the UK over 100-year period to know what it affects? It has on people in the UK.
Absolutely not.
You haven't done that.
Because
Okay.
because the lifestyle of the people in the Mediterranean are different.
Yeah, but not only that. But okay, so I say I'm from Mediterranean. Yeah? I adopt that thing. So genetically, okay, it suits me. Okay, you're making Caucasian people who are born in the UK to take on this diet. You're asking Pakistani people for first generation to take on a Mediterranean diet.
Yeah.
But have you what effect has this had on it? There's no studies.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, it's a great diet. Yeah, because these people live for 120 years. Yeah, but we don't know what else is there. Could be the sun, sea, no stress levels. There's so many factors. But what happens is it's a money making thing. If I give you this thick pill, it's gonna make you slim. You'll take it. And this is what this is the thing, and they know that.
Can someone work out their body themselves? Because can someone who doesn't have access to nutritionists, to trainers, to advisors, someone who wants to look after their body, do you think they can clock their own body?
You can. But again, this is what. I'm very scientific with a lot of stuff I do. So what happens is, again, we said start off with the goal with your training. Yeah. Now your diet. How many people actually write down what they eat?
Not many.
They don't. Write down what you eat. Write down how you felt after each meal. If you want to be serious about it. Okay, say your body doesn't agree with lentils, for example. You have lentils, and how do you feel after? So you might write down, I feel really bloated. And then you see a trend that when you eat lentils on a certain day, that it bloats you. Take lentils out now. Do you bloat? So these are the things that you might need to do, and you can work all this stuff out.
Interesting.
Certain foods have high carbohydrates before training. See how it affects your training. Like you said, keto, you didn't have no carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So have carbohydrates before your training and see how you feel.
Felt good. Felt strong.
That's exactly.
'Cause I felt weak.
Then you can choose. Yeah. Then you can start playing around with what carbohydrate. When you eat pasta, what type of energy system? How does it affect your energy system when you train? Then, if you have brown rice or white rice, or so you can start seeing which one would affect your body. But a lot of people don't do this.
Okay. Now, obviously, that was the opening cues, bro. That was open. Mashallah, that was wicked. That was like a podcast in itself.
Loved it.
Now, obviously, look, your last fight was in 2015,
yeah,
right? And it was out of your professional MMA fight, you fought 5, won 4, and that was the loss.
Yeah.
How come you never went back to fighting after that? 2015.
2015 was
because you had 2 fights in 2015.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was the 1 year where you had 2 fights. Previous years, you fought like once a year.
Yeah.
Whereas that year you had 2 fights.
Yeah.
And the last fight you lost, and you never came back.
Unfortunately, for me, this is why I'm quite adamant on coaching people properly and stuff. The reason I always end up having one fight was I kept getting injured. So the first time I tore my bicep, so I had one fight, I tore my bicep, took 1 year to recover, came back, tore my ACL.
Yeah.
Then I tore my ACL 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. The last 2015, the fight that I lost, I tore something in my shoulder and my hip.
Because it was a doctor stoppage, wasn't it?
Yeah, but in the camp, and I had a guy with me that was part of the camp. He was the physio and stuff, so he knew about the injury. So it was my shoulder and my hip was already torn. So then when I injured it in the fight, I said to him, I can carry on, but he goes to me, it's better start. He goes, you're going to be out for ages again.
It was a doctor stoppage.
Yeah, but it was just again. So when he came to the corner, I felt my shoulder go, and then because in the camp it was
and you felt you could carry on.
But again, it's
like you don't. Biceps.
Again, you don't. The thing is though, it's like as a fighter, I think it's responsibility for the people around you to look after you. Yeah, so even if you, as a fighter, you'll always want to fight.
You're a fighter. Yeah.
Another thing that you should really question that it's more. Okay, if I don't fight, if I go now and fight, I'm going to be out for another 3 years or 2 years, and then it's going to affect you, and then it's like over what? So this was what we decided before. If it gets worse, this is what we're going to do. So he said, don't carry on. after that, I tore my ACL again, twice.
So you said fourth time. So in 2015, what time was the third time?
So 2015, I had to go. So those two fights I fought,
Yeah.
I was actually fighting with my ACLs torn.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's pre-op, yeah.
So this is pre-op. So after 2015, I said, okay, let me get my shoulder and my hip sorted out. Then my knees weren't feeling right, but I didn't know that my ACL, because I just again, this is why you have to go to good people.
The reason why I'm fascinated, bro, is because I'm a physio.
Okay,
yeah?
mashallah.
So I'm hearing this and
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, this is wild.
Crazy, yeah.
this is
So
wild.
I went. When I went to when I used to box, when I was training, after my ACL, I was training. I kept throwing my jab, and I tried to push back. Don't feel right. I'm taking too long. The speed is gone. The proprioception is gone. Then went back to the surgeon. He said, "Oh, it's just gonna take time." Like I go. It just feels like it's lax.
Yeah.
Then we went when I had my surgery. He said, "Yeah, the actual ACL tore, and he had like a little strand holding it.
Yeah.
So they took it out, redone the whole thing again. But
So it's practically a rupture.
it was ruptured.
It was
Yeah, it was
ruptured.
gone. It was gone. Then I had to do my other leg, same thing. And then this is the funny one though. So
Nothing's funny so far, by the way.
this
It just sounds painful.
this is hilarious. It's actually hilarious. 'Cause I had to laugh at it. So alhamdulillah, I just had to, had my the brace.
Yeah.
Went to the loo. So you got to squat
You
down.
don't know the ACL?
No, I slipped and my hamstring came off. I tore my whole hamstring, and I had to get it reconnected. And it was like, okay.
Subhanallah.
But it's the thing though. It's like that's why you have to alhamdulillah, because it's like there's nothing I could have done, and it was like I was going to the loo. What can you?
Setback upon setback.
Yeah, so it made it very, very difficult to come back.
because
of
injury
course.
affected.
And then I think prior when I rushed to come back for those two fights because I just wanted to because I'm not
You want to compete? Yeah.
and plus I'm not no spring chicken, so
Yeah.
I'm 40 now, so alhamdulillah.
You were late 20s then, weren't you?
No, I was 35.
In 2015.
With Griffin.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah,
I was
because you
35.
fight with Wayne, you were 20.
Yeah, I was 30 something.
Where?
Yeah.
Well, even against Wayne.
Yeah. So all this was 30s.
How did dealing with all these injuries, and obviously if you're now basically saying that all these injuries contribute towards you not coming back, because physically it's just a big problem.
And these aren't little niggles, bruv. These are like
these are major
I
injuries.
think
like
anyone knows,
bicep
yeah.
femoris coming off,
Yeah.
ACLs coming off.
Yeah.
How did that affect your relationship with Allah? In the sense that because here you are, you're a fighter, and even when you're not a fighter, you're a strong lad. You said that even in between or before you're fighting, you were having scraps and stuff like that. What is that? Because to certain people, it can actually turn you away from Allah.
Yeah.
If you're like, Allah, you're cursing me.
Ruin my career.
You're ruining my career, and they can actually lead man far
Oh,
away.
yeah. Understandable.
So how did that ever come to your mind that as strong as I am and as
How did you handle that?
How do you handle the injuries, bro?
I
Spiritually,
I thought of it differently.
Go on.
I thought of it as don't think you're no bad man. Because when I tore my bicep, like I said to you, when I tore my bicep, I couldn't do anything. I was relying on a lot of people, and then it was like, yeah, you're just this, and all of a sudden, just not one thing came off, and it was just one tendon,
Yeah.
and you can't fight, you can't do nothing. You're disabled now, like more or less in a sense of in the fighting context. ACL was very, very difficult. It's when I done both legs, because I was bedridden for a little while. That was testing times, but I don't know. It made me.
Did it humble yourself?
I like to think.
Not to say that you weren't humble before, but did it
yeah.
increase your humility?
Yes, even more, because it was like, I needed to tell people as well. Like it was like, bruv, take my story and what it was like, take my story and use it to help you. So if you got an opportunity, first thing, if you got an opportunity to do something, go after it and try your best at it, because you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Yeah, we were training, and I tore my bicep in a last sparring session. So I don't know. So I was ready for fight. So making sure that these guys and our students and everyone around me and stuff, I said, like, opportunities when they come, take them, but don't forget who you're going to return to.
That's right.
If and in the grander scheme of things, bruv, who are we to be this?
Yeah,
But, bruv, you could be, bruv. I went to Genèse a few weeks ago, and then and I went to the gym after, and I see a few guys walking around with carpet loaders, you know, like, and nothing like thingy. It makes you reflect, and I think that is it. As soon as you start reflecting, so subhanallah, man, we think we're really bad, but
We're really not.
You're not, and you can be the baddest guy in the thing, but you're not, bro.
But you're going to return to dust.
I always remember Muhammad Ali. I said to him, bro, the greatest fighter's gone, and it's like, know that how many greats have come before him, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, all of these guys, man. So many fighters, so many strong people, so many leaders. They're all gone, man. Kings, everything. So if you don't reflect on this, you're the loser. So what happens is, it's like, appreciate what Allah sometimes given you, go after it, do the best you can with it, but don't forget you're going to go back to Him. So I think for me, I've always been grounded, alhamdulillah. So everything we do is based on this anyway. So
when I saw you in Abu Dhabi last year, you were with Uthman Al-Zaitar,
Yes.
and you had a wonderful knockout. He got the knockout of the fight,
That's right.
of UFC 242. Was that culture? Because I saw that even on his Insta and stuff, alhamdulillah, you know what I mean, the man or appeared at least outwardly they were grounded on deen and stuff like that. Is that important to have in a camp, to have around, especially as a Muslim fighter? Yeah, we're not saying that Christian fighters don't have it, but we're talking, this is a Muslim podcast, so we want to talk about within Muslim fighters, whether it's MMA, boxing, whatever. Do you think that's an important mindset to have?
yeah, I think, look, morality is very important in life. So it's your compass. So what you look, I've done something when I was younger. I wrote down certain values. So I don't know if you always see my posts. I always put like Bushido stuff.
Yes.
Bushido falls in line with a lot of the certain things in Bushido falls in line with Islam in a sense of certain characteristics that you should have. Now, and again, it's a good exercise if you've got kids or anyone, do it with them. You have a list of all attributes of core values. Pick out 5 or 7 of them and live by them 7. So whenever you make a decision, if someone doesn't fall in line, say if me and you guys are going out somewhere and you don't fall in line with these things, I have no problem saying to you no. Because why? You've come out of my core values. And because I live by them core values, it makes everything very easy to navigate and
make
live.
decisions.
Yeah, and decisions. And you never lose sleep over it. Because why? It directly affects who you are. So being in a camp with brothers who actively are trying to practice, trying to be the best that they can, alhamdulillah, it makes it easier. Because what happens, it's not, I need to go to this place. Because say for example you're with people that want to go to the bar and you as a coach don't want to go to the bar, you already got some sort of
There's a barrier there.
Or I want to go to a nightclub, I don't want to go to a nightclub. You already got a barrier there. So what happens is that they might say, he don't really gel with us.
What if they want to go to a shisha lounge?
But I mean, if you want to go to do your thing, but I'm saying we're not here to judge anyone. But it's just like, it's everything is knowing yourself. I keep going back to this, knowing yourself, what you stand for, what you want to be, and how you want to live your life. Because no one can dictate. The world is yours just as like as everyone else's. So you decide, and don't worry what anyone else says, to be honest.
And obviously as a fighter, is it and now as a coach, is there a difference with regards to how you take victories and losses? So for example, as a fighter, you're someone who's actively competing, you're going to go into that ring, you're going to smash and get smashed, right? Is it different?
And it's very personal.
Yeah.
As in, you're competing with this person, he's trying to beat you, trying to beat them.
How is it as a coach when you've literally trained the competitor, in terms of, is it different, or do you have the same feeling?
Okay. I've been coaching since I was 20. So even though,
when you were fighting, you were coaching.
So I was coaching.
What were you coaching? Sorry, that's what.
Yeah, so I had loads of pro fighters as well. So
so I
didn't
know that before.
Yeah. So I've been coaching since.
Okay, so what's the
So I
difference?
guess let's reframe it then. So how does it feel to win? To share a victory as a coach.
Yeah.
Than your own.
So I get more nervous as a coach.
Really.
Yeah. Just recently, my nephew fought.
What's his name? Give him a shout.
Abdurrahman.
Alhamdulillah.
He fought 2 weeks ago. He didn't tell me. And this is a funny. And I actually went crazy with everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone was around me, and I'm not. When I lose it, I'm not the nicest person because I don't hold back. So we were at home, and I asked him, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay, alhamdulillah." He got ill. He had a flu, but he was hiding it from me. So on the last day, he kept sniffing. Are you sniffing? No, it wasn't me. I think it was TV. Oh, okay. And I wasn't really paying attention because he said he was okay.
Yeah.
Got to the fight. He didn't look right, but he said he's okay. Carried on. He's done the competition. After 10 seconds, he gassed, like, because you're sick.
Yeah.
You can't fight. Then he ended up losing. After the fight, I was because I'm emotionally invested in you. I trained you, everything as well. You're my nephew.
Yeah.
Just like any other
So
fighter.
many layers.
There's so many layers. But this specifically, you're seeing one of your loved ones get hit. You can't do nothing. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, God, he's not even fighting. He's not even able to defend himself because you're sick. You shouldn't even be in there.
If you knew what would have happened,
I would have been as his ammi. I should be
yeah.
as his uncle. I would have gone in there. I would have fought everyone in there for him to protect him. But what happens? You can't now because you got rule sets. So after the fight, I said, he goes, I'm sick. I said, and I lost it. I said to all the other fighters, I said, if you ever do this again, I will smash you myself. Because it's not. I go to him. I go, why come here and let people who are not as good as you have the satisfaction of beating you up, number one. Yeah. Second thing, as a coach, I'm here to protect you. I cannot let above you. I don't know, you might be dehydrated, you get hit in your head, something can happen to you. I was responsible. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing as always when I train people. If I train someone and someone comes with an attitude like, yeah, I want to learn how to fight. Why do you learn how to fight? Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not really interested, bro. I'll tell you why, because now it's like me putting a gun in your hand.
You're adding to a man's incorrect ego.
Yeah. I put a gun in your hand, you go and shoot someone, and I say, I didn't know that. I think so. If I teach you to throw punches and you become confident, you're not humble with any of this. This is wrong. And as a coach, it's not about making money. It's not about. It's always about, okay, I'm trying to make this guy a better person, just like I want him to make me a better person, and we become better. And obviously, as a community, as the whole humanity kind of thing. Like we look after each other, and this is ultimately, because again this comes from the martial arts side as well, the discipline side. Like,
but you're saying that as a coach you're more nervous.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you more happy with the victory than as a fighter?
Yeah, man. You see me celebrate, because it's like it's.
We saw you when I first saw you celebrate. It was Uthman's fight.
Yes,
it was a big win.
Yeah, because it's like you're working with this guy, because unfortunately coaches are unsung heroes, aren't they? Yeah. So what happens is it's like they're with the guy in all his wins, even when they're feeling down. The person that he's crying, shoulder crying on is you. You're sitting there, don't worry, everything's gonna be on his lows.
But they don't necessarily share the glory.
And that's it. And again, you accept it.
Yeah.
You accept it.
To bring the podcast to a close, now we've already actually quite clearly referenced and alluded to it throughout the podcast with regard to what you just said about a man who comes in and says, yeah, I want to learn how to fight, and you're already sensing a negative ego, and that learning this guy,
you're doubting his attitude.
Yeah, and learning this guy's self-defense and stuff like this, it can actually be more problematic to the kind of person I'm kind of judging as he is. Putting that aside, as a fighter, once you succeed, you get victories, you become a champ, money, contract, sponsorship, it can negatively impact you. We know fighters, without mentioning names, in MMA, in boxing, people who generally came from humble Muslim backgrounds, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after victory, even sometimes even alluding to the fact that, even though I'm in this industry, it's not something I necessarily agree with per se from a religious point of view, but nevertheless, but then money changed them, fame changed them. What would your advice be to those who are within this industry of contact sports, are competing
with the skills, the abilities, the talent, and the trajectory,
safeguarding measures, safeguarding measures against becoming that gal want me, man want me, everyone knows who I am.
Don't chase fame.
Huh?
Number one thing, don't ever chase fame.
But it can come to you.
Yeah, but don't chase fame. Yeah. So if you've got into this thing, so you remember, like now, most people who for example, say if someone who makes music, they'll never be seen because they make the music.
He's a producer.
He probably doesn't want it. He doesn't have that. Someone who wants to sing and wants to entertain, they want to be seen. So that's their industry. As a fighter, what do you want to be known as?
As a great fighter.
Great fighter. I don't care if you like me or not. But when you see me fight, you say, mashallah, this guy's good. And this is what I always told the guys. Don't put things up on your Instagram trying to get followers. because why? Let people follow you because they know that you're a good fighter. So they understand that you've got a reputable persona, and then your skill set is at a high level. And then that's why people follow. And then again, so because if you're not chasing this, you're always going to focus on the art. It's like business, for example. If you open a business, I had my gyms. When I opened my gyms, the objective was I thought of it as a baby, and I wanted this baby to grow into something big. And that was my money. Everything else was a byproduct. Me being the owner or anything. Oh, you're the owner. I don't care. I didn't give a shit about that. I wanted to make this. Can I make this thing succeed? Nurture it. Does it work? And all the pitfalls and its problematic issues I have with it and everything. How can I solve these issues? This is what I was after. So I didn't care about all that other stuff.
But what you've just described is the same mindset I had with 5 Pillars, my news website.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I want to see what works, what didn't work. I want to experience all of that.
Yeah.
And I want to protect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't really care what outsiders believe, the way we report news, what kind of news we cover, the angles we take, etc. It's my baby. I want to look after it. I want to help it grow organically, without giving a rat's about what everyone else thinks.
And that's exactly like so when you're training, when you're fighting, for example, your followers are not running with you at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Of course not.
So why has it become such a thing that I need to tell you? Don't worry about them. You know the work you're putting in, and you have to love that, because what happens is there's a point where it's going to stop. For example, let me tell you, there is a story. I was in Morocco. I used to go to Morocco before when I was actively fighting. People used to say, mashallah, Khalid, take pictures and stuff. So the last few years I went. Now other people are fighting. So I was standing there, and some guy goes, oh, they saw someone that they know, and they said, oh, can we take a picture of him? Took a picture of him. Then they looked at me, said, oh, Khalid Ismail. And he said, oh, you're a good fighter. Do you want to take a picture? So like he knew, but it was like, I'm not the man of the moment no more. So what happens is, it's like, but it didn't affect me. Again, alhamdulillah.
It could affect people though.
Yes, but and then there was a boy next to me, and he's a young boy. I said to him, this is what I was telling you, and this is what I was trying to explain to you. We all have our time, and it revolves and it goes. Now these guys and thing, and alhamdulillah, you be happy for them. They're people, you don't get upset that that you're no longer the people. And again, I've never ever wanted that. I never really was after, you take pictures. I didn't really care about that stuff. So it was like, but I understood, okay, if you chase fame now, I would have been, oh, why does anyone take picture? Why does anyone take a picture of me? And then that's your ego now.
That's right.
And it's like, no, it was, I'm good. It's that kind of thing. And like I said, I go, it was another humbling experience. You kind of realize everything out of the past. Because remember, back in the day, people used to say, think about you fighting. Say someone's fighting. Hey, champ. Hey, champ. Hey, champ. Now you stop fighting. Hey, champ. Hey, champ. And then people don't call you champ no more. You're no longer the champ. And it's like, why is... And you feel less of a man if you let it.
Yeah, if you let it affect you.
But you've always been a champ. And you should always stay a champ. And it's because you know what you achieved in your life, what you've done, the work you've done in your life. You're always going to be a champ. But I don't need you to reaffirm that for me. And that's why knowing oneself, again, always go back to this, go back to your core values, and alhamdulillah, you'll be cool.
That is a big, fantastic
fire ending, mashallah. Fire ending to the podcast. Now, Khalid Ismail Academy, your gym, where can people find you?
www.khalidismail.com has all the details on that. My academy, I'm in East London.
LDG gym?
No, I closed my gyms.
How come?
That's another story.
Okay.
Another podcast.
Part two.
Again,
so it's just the
trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
So it's just the academy now, yeah?
Just the academy. I'm focused on just the kids, like juniors and adults kind of thing.
If other gyms wanted to bring you down for seminars, how do they contact you?
Yes, so just through khalidismail.com. Just drop us an email and stuff, and I can come down and come down and do seminars and stuff.
Most remember to put that down there, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Alhamdulillah. So,
Khalid, jazakallah khair, bro. It was a great honor. But the podcast hasn't fully ended because. Just like we went from 0 to 100 with the masturbation and sex question, right? We offer our guests 3 ways to conclude a podcast, right? Now I don't know how I feel about offering some of these things to you, right? So
I think we should stick to the spirit of the podcast, and be authentic and be organic and not care what people think.
Okay, that's good. Wicked. Based on Khalid's advice.
We learned something.
Okay. So offer number 1 is you give me an arm wrestle.
Okay.
Offer number 2 is you give my brother a thumb war.
Yeah.
And offer number 3 is you have to try some Bengali delicacy called ban. Now this is, I'll tell you what it is. It's leaf
Yeah.
and it's beetle nut. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit bitter, but
But it's got some crushed and dusted rose petal, which is
makes it sweet.
Okay.
So what are you saying, Khalid?
Go on, let me try that.
Yeah, because Khalid knew I'd do him.
Yeah, and we try and boy man saying, yeah, and you give this little man here a thumb war. What are you talking about?
Right, so it will be bitter. You may like it, it's not exactly tagine and it's definitely not couscous, but I'll make it small and sweet for you, bruv.
Reduce that.
So you
leaf.
chew this, yeah?
You just chew it.
And this tissue is here in advance because we know when not everyone's
Okay.
liking.
That said, though,
So do you eat the leaf?
yeah, you just chew it until it disintegrates. That's how
Okay.
you're supposed to have it, right?
Okay.
Now, if you're really old school, you spit it out, yeah. Like,
Right.
You spit the juice out or you swallow the juice. I know the wording sounds mad, but it's allow it, yeah. Our dad was Moroccan. He yammed that like a Bengali. Do you remember?
Yeah, he didn't mind it. Yeah.
He finished that one time. Our dad was a Moroccan rapper we had, yeah. He
Okay.
came on. He yammed it like he was an expert.
He enjoyed it.
Right, let's try.
Right, let's see.
It's the palate. It depends. You might like it, might not.
Yeah, bruv, you might like it, you might not like it. Bismillah.
Bismillah. Jazakallah khair.
For one side of your mouth, and just chew
Just
it.
chew it. Chew it like it's chewing.
Tell us your initial thoughts.
Yeah, sweet
Okay.
and
Okay.
bitter.
Okay.
Spot on.
From a scale to 1 to 10, how bad is it? How good is it?
I wouldn't eat all of that.
Okay, yeah, the water's there, the tissue's there.
No, it's cool though.
Khalid, it was a great experience.
Like,
brother.
thank you.
Real honor. We
Thanks for
enjoyed it
having
so
me.
much.
Honestly, inshallah, we will definitely have you on to find out, like you said, why the gyms got closed down, inshallah.
And keep following the academy. It's an amazing journey. I'm sure that you're on, and so many people are going to benefit from
May Allah
this.
make you success in this life. and the next.
Ameen.
Jazakallah khair.
Brothers and sisters, and that was it for today's podcast. For those of you who are watching from North America, subscribe to the Mad Mumluks YouTube channel. For those of you who are in the UK and beyond, subscribe to the 5 Pillars YouTube channel. Press and click that notification. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Blood Brothers Podcast. 5 Pillars of Mad Monolith Production.